For those of you who haven't seen Our Life before, it is a really, really cute visual novel. Thank you so much for that follow, Matt. It is a really, really cute visual novel that is LGBTQIA plus friendly. We are playing as Dev, who is a non-binary human being, and we are currently dating Cove Holden, who is our lovely partner. We have 2 moms, our lifetime, yes. And let's see, on the last episode, we got some family drama from Cove, in which we learned about his parents' divorce. It was very intense. So I'm hoping this time, whatever we decide to do won't be quite that intense. But I guess we'll find out. Let's see if it will load up in here. Hello, Game Capture. There you go. I watched the voice of one of the characters play the serendipity moment, and that was fun. Oh, you want to do serendipity. Okay, so vote is for serendipity. Okay, all right. So I think my plan is just to do one read through today and hang out and talk and stuff, and then that'll be the stream. We're doing a mini stream today. All right, serendipity. Shit, if I have to talk as what's-his-face Baxter, what was that accent? I don't even remember anymore. Light filtered down through the leaves of an oak tree overhead, casting speckled shadows on the sidewalk all around you. There was a drop of sweat slowly making its way down the side of your face. Ooh, you flicked it away with your thumb, slowing to a stop in the cool shade. It was like when it's the character speaking and when it's the voice actor reading the lines. Oh, okay. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. I like the movie Serendipity too. I don't think I've ever seen that, Serenity. Our Life is now on stream before Jackie should appear. The day had you out and about in town, in no hurry to go anywhere in particular. Your morning shift had just ended and there was nothing else planned for the rest of the afternoon. I was summoned by the Cove vibes, so I'm so glad you're here, Lily. I always love your tea every time you come in and hang out with Our Life. Your moms were still at work themselves, and Liz had left early in the morning to do something. You had no idea what. You took out your phone, idly noting the time when it started to jingle. The screen lit up in your hand. Before you could even begin to question why, your phone went off again. Nothing bad, but you have to see this. So, can we just talk about the instant, not causing you to have anxiety? This is, if you're going to message someone and be do something immediately, ASCT, I have news, whatever, please follow up with not about you, or this isn't bad, or whatever, because it sets my anxiety off like nobody's business. Well, don't worry, your stream community will fill your void heart. It's true, y'all do actually really fill my void heart. It's amazing how I'm in a bad headspace, and then I'll start streaming, and instantly everyone turns my mood around. It's crazy to me. My favorite emote is my own, which is valid because it's Cove. So there you go. And with that final message, you were left only slightly less confused than you were before. You hadn't seen much of your sister lately. She had been acting strange for days, always shutting herself up in her room. Which shouldn't be so weird if at the dinner table she didn't suddenly start smirking to herself over nothing. Does Liv have a significant other? The rare times you did see her, she would sneak you expectant looks like she was waiting to be asked what was up, but all your questions led nowhere. Oh my god, is she dating someone? She'd answer you with a put-upon sigh, proclaim that she was busy, and tell you that she would talk to you about it later. Chip! How are you doing, friend? No hints, no guessing. Whatever it was, she was determined to keep it a secret. Maybe now you'd finally find out what it was. As you did an about-face on the sidewalk and started heading home, you received more texts. To your surprise, the name that popped up on the screen this time was Coves. Coves. I love you, Bae. Did you hear from Liz? About some urgent thing you have to see? What the fuck, Cove? Anxiety, Cove. Excuse you. Story behind this one. I impulsively asked if I can have a Cove emote on Twitch, and the dev said yes. That is a great story. I love how you and the devs just are so connected. I freaking love this game, so it makes me really happy every time I see it. She messaged Cove too. You weren't surprised. Liz teased him about it, but he was like family. However, you were struggling to understand how he fit into Liz's surprise. Thank you, Draco. Yeah, Liz sent me the same thing. What, is there something on fire? Why would Liz tell you her news? I'm gonna say, what is there? Fire or something? His reply came only seconds later as you waited to cross the street. Something tells me it's not that, and something tells me you know that too. You laughed to yourself as you read his message, a short-lived joke, but you knew when to let things go. You got me, detective too bad, that's all I know. Are you going to see what's up? I'm walking there now. Me too. Let's go together. Glancing up, you saw the light had changed to a walk sign. While you were busy texting, you hurriedly wrapped things up, texting Cove a quick goodbye before crossing the street. It was fine. You'd be seeing him later anyway. Not expecting any more messages, you put your phone away so you could walk without having to worry about tripping over the curve. Thankfully, it was a short trek home, and soon enough you were walking up to the street, the familiar face of your house already in view. Thinking of when I might be waiting at home. I'm gonna say, we were just talking about how it makes us anxious, so I'm gonna say we were anxious. The sight of the front door had you swallowing uneasily. Liz said it wasn't anything bad, but in the back of your head you couldn't shake that faint worry. Lost in your thoughts, you almost didn't see who was walking further up the street. Cove! Even from the back, the bright sea green color of his hair was unmistakable. You quickened your pace to catch up to him, the scruff of your shoes loud against the pavement. He heard it instantly, not missing a beat as he... You quickened your pace to catch up to him. Oh, wait, he heard that. Okay. There's my boy. Hey, Devin. Hi. Here we are. At my house. At that, Cove gave you a weary smile. Here we are. I love Cove so much. Any ideas on what Liz wants for us? You shook your head. This situation was out of character for your sister. Anything could happen. Well, I guess we should go in and find out. Taking his cue, you grabbed your keys and opened up the front door. Cove trailed behind as you entered. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. You nervously stuck your head through the doorway and peered about, not sure what you were looking for or looking out for. From the entryway, you could see Liz pacing across the living room. Wait, hold on. Living room, smile, gaze, intent on her phone. You caught her just as she had completed a turn. Behind you, the door clicked shut. The second she heard it, her head darted up to your direction, her features lighting up at the sight of you and Cove. Ah, you've arrived. And together, too. That's perfect. Just perfect. She flashed you a radiant smile. You could almost see her limbs vibrating as she was poised to pounce. Cove raised an eyebrow at your sister's bizarre behavior. She ships you. Oh my god, you know our whole family does. Literally, the game opened with Cove's dad being like, you gotta. What's going on? This better be important. You're in a good mood today. So what is it? Where is it? What are we gonna show us? You quietly waited to see what would be revealed. The moment is interesting. Oh my god, Lily, you're building it up. You're in a good mood today. Liz only hummed playfully in response. Liz's eyes narrowed with a mischievous glint, and she let out a little cackle. So lately, I've been hard at work on a plan of mine, and you two get the honor of seeing it all come together. Here it is! Surprise! She lifted a hand in the air to present the very comfortable but completely mundane living room. In the resulting silence, you and Cove glanced around again and then made eye contact with each other. His face mirrored your bafflement. Then suddenly, another voice rang out in the room. Surprise! Surprise! Who the fuck is this? Cove flinched at the shout, his shoulders shooting up to his ears. Laughter came from your sister as well as from the other side of the room. Oh god, it's Shiloh! This motherfucker who pretended he didn't know us? Are you kidding me? Lily! Amazing. Your head whipped around just in time to see a familiar face with a freckled face and a purple cap spraying out from behind the back of the couch. Cove's mouth fell open, recognition immediately coming to him. Oh man, wait till you see the other person who shows up. Who is it? Is it Derek? I'm okay with Derek. I like Derek. Shiloh? Oh my god. What would his voice be? Hi, Cove. Hi, Devin. Shiloh greeted the two of you so casually, like he'd been gone for 10 days rather than 10 years. Shiloh, you were too stunned to speak. What in the world were you doing here? You started laughing. But I thought you weren't the Shiloh we knew. Oh, I'm calling him out. I'm calling this mother trucker out. Let's go. It is not Derek. Who could it be? Oh my god, is it Jeremy? What? All right, shall we continue? I'm gonna call out this dude now. The initial shock quickly wore off. You crossed your arms and leveled a look at the freckled face who had ditched you at the start of the summer. He treated you and Liz like complete strangers. Shiloh shifted nervously, angling the brim of his hat down as if to hide from the scrutiny Liz tutted at your comment.
Rude.
Don't be rude, I'll explain. When we got home that day, I changed my mind about letting it go. Why did I have to? Social media exists, right? So I thought, why not try finding him and sending him a little reminder message? Luckily, there are only so many 17-year-old Shiloh Fields in the world. It wasn't hard to do. Hearing Liz speak seemed to encourage Shiloh, who pulled himself together to face both you and your sister with a careful smile.
Sorry.
I'm sorry about what happened. When you talked to me that first time, I was in the middle of a tour for a school field trip. I couldn't get it separated from the group, and I didn't expect anyone to want to be talking to me. I was so worried about getting back to everyone else, I didn't think too hard on what you were saying. But then Liz's message showed up. Everything suddenly hit me, Lizzie. Devin, Cove, you were the kids from Sunset Bird. But when I was a little kid. There's no way I could forget that. Not for real. I do know all of you, and I'm so happy I get to see you again. I have Lizzie to thank for that. My mom was already planning to take a short trip near here this summer.
Well,
if my mom could bring me along, Lizzie offered to pick me up and bring me the rest of the way here so I could visit the neighborhood again. And that's why I decided to make it a big reveal. Instead of outright telling you to, I got back in contact with Shiloh. Once again, she lifted a hand in the air, probably presenting the long-lost childhood friend you all shared, except that we weren't really his friend. We just kind of like tolerated him. So, ta-da! It was impressive how it all came together. Alright, still pretty stupid of you not to really suit her. That's so mean! Also, anyone watching, if you have a preference of what you would like me to say, feel free to shout it out. Hopefully I see it before I click anything. Gotta follow that dopamine, right? The dopamine trail. LBRB, I need foods. Tally, thank you so much for the raid, and obviously go take care of yourself. After stream, it's so important to do that. I hope you eat lots of yummy foods. A long-lost tolerated person. Tell me if we didn't just tolerate him. You were amused at the stunt. You weren't sure how you felt about it. I'm just gonna say we're amused. You gave Liz a thumbs up. She had gotten you good, and all without you catching on. You were still getting a kick out of seeing Shiloh's face. Cove blinked slowly, still a little dazed by everything that was going on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm gonna get some water. Don't disappear or anything. He padded off to the kitchen. No need for a chaperone. He knew where the cups were. Wow, you really surprised him, Lizzie. And Devin, too. Did you see their face when I appeared? Yes, I did. Liz patted the cushion front of the couch. Make yourself comfortable. You don't have to keep hunkering down behind there anymore. Oh, I thought there was another person. I was like, who the fuck is behind my couch? With a laugh, Shiloh crossed around the backside and took the seat. But maybe it was awkward being the only one sitting because he kept idly twiddling his fingers. Oh my god, I couldn't read for a second there. You could hear him humming to himself, a nonsense tune with no real melody, something to keep his voice busy. Being here again could be more nerve-wracking for him than he let on. Your thoughts wandered to the last time you saw him here. And then something came to you suddenly. Shiloh was using your right pronouns, but that wasn't what he knew you as when you were kids. Aww. Wait, no. We've been going by they, them forever. Shiloh was using your right pronouns, but that wasn't what he knew you as when you were kids. I mean, that's awesome and respectful, and I love they're highlighting that, but like, we've been going by they, them since we were kids. It was so natural to be called that, you hadn't initially realized it was out of place. You're relieved he seemed aware of the change and had no problem adjusting to it. Did I change our pronoun? I'm pretty sure I kept our pronouns the same. You wanted to leave it at that, but you wanted to talk to him about it directly. Let's have this conversation. Wait, I want to see what he says. Oh my god. Can we thank him for being respectful? You leaned over to face Shiloh, who turned his head to look back at you attentively. So Shiloh, I know things were like when we were kids, but I want to tell you that my pronouns are they, them. With an understanding smile, Shiloh nodded. Cool, thanks for telling me, Devin. I love this game. You turned the smile. It was satisfying to have that settled. Ko's soft voice announced his return. He paused to drag the back of his hand across his mouth, wiping away what droplets of water lingered there. Hi, Shiloh. Welcome back. At Ko's confused greeting, Shiloh laughed cheerily. Thanks. I think it's amazing you're all still here in this same neighborhood. It's just like how it was back then. With a giggle that implied differently, Liz nodded in your general direction. There have been some changes since then. You narrowed your eyes at Liz. There's no way you could miss the teasing look she was fixing you and Cove. Shiloh's eyes shifted across the group, still smiling pointedly, but there was a slight tilt in his eyebrows. He didn't know what to make of what she was saying. That is until Cove cleared his throat and spoke. I love Cove. Devin and I are dating. It was fascinating how red he got as he said it. Me too, Cove, me too. But his voice was steady, confident. By now, most people knew you were going out. Shiloh's eyes went wide as saucers, mouth opening into a tiny O shape.
Congratulations!
Really?
That's
Congratulations! It's really sweet that the two of you got closer. I wouldn't want to be with anyone else. You didn't falter as you said it. There was no one like Cove, no one who could replace who he was to you, what you had gone through together. He gave you an adoring smile, and the eyes that met yours were full of sincerity. He felt the same way. This is making me feel hella single. Shiloh sighed happily at the moment as Cove raised an eyebrow and gave the room a considering glance. Hey, this is where we met for the first time, remember? Right after I moved in, me and Devin were brought down right here to have a playdate with you. Yeah! Shiloh laughed, his eyes downcast as he fiddled with the corner of his collared shirt. We almost didn't meet in the living room because you wanted to jump out the window to get away from me. Cole cringed at the memory of his younger self being pushed back to the forefront of his mind. His mouth going tight, he awkwardly looked away from Shiloh. Cove You have a good memory.
Oh?
Oh, I don't think so. Seeing this place again just brings back a lot of things. He clapped his hands together, an idea suddenly coming to him. But hey, now that our group is together, would you want to go and visit some of the old places? I've been hiding in the living room since I got here. Liz wasn't afraid to laugh at herself, bringing a hand to her chest to silently take the blame for that. I'd love to. Yeah. Without missing a beat, the others turned to you for your answer. Why not? It's nice a day out, after all. And with that, the four of you headed out into the neighborhood as one. Even with how short the time you spent indoors was, the sun was momentarily blinding once you left the house. Squinting, you brought your hand to shield your eyes. The pleasant summer day had yet to go away. Only a few wispy clouds drifted along in the sky. As you strolled down the way, Liz took the lead, followed by you and Cove walking side by side. Shiloh freely took to walking in the middle of the road, his arms idly swinging back and forth at his sides as he turned his head every which way to take in as much as he could. It was very much a trip down memory lane for him. You wondered how much of the neighborhood had changed in his eyes. Not a word passed within the group about where you were heading first, but soon enough you found yourselves walking the usual path to the shopping street. Before you reached it, the sounds of it did a collective of sandals? A collective of sandals. Am I having a stroke? Am I reading that right? A collective of sandals. Tracking sand. Before you reached it, the sounds of it did. A collective of sandals tracking sand. What? I think my brain is melted from finals. The shrill calls of seagulls, the overlapping conversations of beachgoers, and random strings of music from various stalls. Wow! The odd gaps had come from Shiloh. His eyes were all lit up. Were there always so many different stores in one place?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Wow, I can see why so many people come here. Hey, do they still have those nice little ice cream stands? Of course they do. Yeah, we should get some. It'll be my treat. Thanks, Shiloh. Ice cream sounds perfect on a hot day. How about you, Cove? You could see that unlike Cove, Cove was struggling with the decision, brow wrinkled in thought. Finally, a hesitant smile appeared on his face as he settled on keeping to the spirit of this special occasion. Yeah, sounds good to me. Awesome. And Devin? Sure, yeah, sure. Buy me ice cream. Shiloh gave you a wide grin as you were the one buying him ice cream. The four of you continued to walk as ice cream plans were further discussed. That is worded oddly. Okay, I just thought my brain had just completely left my head. I believe it's supposed to be the sounds of all people's sandals against the sand. Lily? That makes sense. Are you getting a popsicle, Lizzie? Yes. Hearing that, Shiloh smiled shyly. I thought you might still like that. I'm gonna get an ice cream cone. Shiloh began to turn towards Cove, but before you could ask, Cove offered up his choice. I'm gonna get an ice cream sandwich. I'm gonna get... What do we get? The most important decision of this game. A popsicle, an ice cream cone, or an ice cream sandwich too. I think we go with our boo. Our boo thing, right? An ice cream sandwich. Not me just having a stroke on stream, Zazie. Thanks for the clip. Ice cream sandwich, and I have reasons for this. Okay, alright. What did you get last time? I don't remember, Lily. I was 7. Why? I don't remember. I'm gonna get an ice cream sandwich. Yep, sandwich. Okay, sandwich. I had one of those today. When you get an ice cream with Shiloh last time, what did you get? I don't remember. Because what if you bite the ice cream sandwich and it drips out, which compels Cove to offer you a napkin to help you clean it up? I was just gonna ask Cove to eat his again, because I always do that to Cove, and then he gets embarrassed. I could do a few more family-friendly clips. So, Zazie, I was having to pick from clips again, and I was thinking of you as I was doing it, because I was like, what would Zazie want me to share with people? I didn't pick any of those. It's a good choice. Cole gave you a quick smile at your matching preferences. Us matching. There was an ice cream stall further up the street, across from a souvenir shop display, postcards of the seaside, and salty water taffy in the windows. The stand itself was already hard to miss, with the pastel pinks and blues and its eye-catching poster boards listing every individual flavor. Don't ask, just bite Cove's ice cream. Lily, consent is key. We have to ask. It was impossible to ignore once the catchy little jingle playing from its speakers was added. Love you, Zazie. Shiloh greeted the owner and began picking out the treats that everyone had chosen. Don't ask, just bite Cove. I think Cove would melt. I think he would become ice cream and he would melt. Shiloh greeted the owner and began picking out the treats that everyone had chosen. He paid for them before handing them out to their respective owners. Sinking your teeth into your ice cream sandwich, you relished the sweet chill it left in your mouth. Liz was right. This was a perfect treat for a summer day. Around you, everyone was eating at their own pace. Liz held her popsicle away from herself, careful not to let it drip onto her dress. She was trying to go about eating it as delicately as she could, while Shiloh dug into his. You counted only 2 or 3 bites before Cove had devoured his sandwich. Shiloh laughed, also noticing the way Cove inhaled food. Is it already finished? Cove shrugged a little in reply, his attention more focused on crumpling up the sandwich wrapper in his hand. So, what have you been doing around here since I've been gone? Well, I already told you about me attending college away from here, so I don't really live here anymore. But to be more specific on my life, I'm pursuing a degree in architecture. Shiloh perked up at that, his mouth falling open in awe. Amazing! Why do I feel like Shiloh's bullshitting us right now? I feel like he's a liar. Actually, I was thinking about it, and the first time I really decided I liked buildings and building them was when you and I would make sandcastles out on the beach. Aw, Lizzie! That is really cute, sis. At such a sincere admission from your sister, all Shiloh could do was blush and lower his head to flatter to know what else to say. Liz laughed, just a fluster though she had been the one to say it. The atmosphere was awkward, but not unpleasant. Shiloh shyly glanced over at you and Cove. Then, what about you two? What have you been up to?
Oh.
Fucking obviously. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Me and Devin just graduated high school, I mean. I've got a part-time job. I volunteer at this organization to clean up stuff, things like that. You know, along with Code, you idly explained how you're doing normal things. That's a secret. Highly classified information. Can't go around casually revealing it. You understand. Cove laughed at that, giving a slight shake of the head. Shiloh just seemed happy to hear it.
Great.
Great. Being around, you're an international spy? That's great. Was a little like picking up an old forgotten habit. Clunky at first, but as the four of you talked, it just started to become more natural. And when one of you ran out of things to say, suddenly someone else remembered something new. We're all nerds here, as I hope everyone should be, you know? Oh right, do you remember those mean old not actually grandparents that used to live in our neighborhood? Yeah, they were mean. Well, they're not here anymore. Oh no! They're not spending summers here anymore. They're still alive. Thank goodness. Why are you so happy, Shiloh? I don't believe it. It helped that Shiloh was just as eager to hear about what had gone on in his absence as the people were to tell him. Soon, everyone threw out what trash they had in the nearby garbage can. Good, not litterers up in here. As your group made their way down the beach, going down the shore inevitably led to a certain spot. It didn't take very long for Shiloh to recognize what was in the distance. His words trailed off in the middle of a sentence, his footsteps faltering at first. And all at once, he broke away from the group and dashed right into the old park, giggling as he ran. Oh, everything's so small! His laughter petered out as he came to a stop by the swings and grabbed hold on one of the support poles. He walked in circles around it, marveling at how easily his hand wrapped around its entirety. Emboldened by Shiloh's enthusiasm, Liv plopped herself down on one of the swing sets, only to instantly show an expression of regret. There was no way she was comfortable in that tiny seat so low to the ground, not with how she had scrunched up her legs to fit there. Shiloh creeped up behind her. He looked hold of the chains of her swing, one in each hand.
Seriously?
What are you doing? And with a grin, Shiloh started walking back. Liz shifted in her seat to look at him. You can't be trying to push me. These are made for kids. It's never gonna work. But Shiloh just hummed and kept pulling her back. Resigning herself to her fate, Liz tucked her legs up as much as possible as Shiloh moved his hands to her back. With a running start, he got her forward and up as he could go before jumping out of the way. Liz had her they did underdog. Her eyes squeezed shut, a screech escaping as the swung started falling. Swung? This is how you know I'm tired, folks. I can't read anymore. How about something related to the image I sent you recently? What did you send Darmo? I'm scared. There was Shiloh again to push her. She couldn't kick the ground like when you were kids. Her legs were too long for that now, but Shiloh was pushing her enough to keep the momentum going. The air was filled with their wild laughter and the almost rhythmic jangle of the swing keys. Swing key chains? Swing keys, what is happening? Cove sat against the bars of the jungle gym, wearing a bent smile as he watched them. He was fiddling with something, turning it over and over in his hands. When you craned your neck to get a better view, he obligingly lifted it for you to see. It was a piece of shell, one side rough and molted gray, the other side completely smooth, revealing a faint blue sheen when it caught the light. I saw it on the beach. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's a good one. No, I meant Shiloh. He seems more confident than I remember. I don't like Shiloh. Shiloh's right. Everything is so much smaller than it used to be. Smack Zazie with this newspaper. Thanks, Darmo. Might be just me, but some of the most intimate fanfic tend to be more from writers that are Grey Demi. Because we love, Kit. We love. Cove nodded, leaning back to enjoy the breeze blowing in from the sea. Soon your sister began to speak out. All right. I'm ready to get off now. How do you stop this? Don't worry. Shiloh braced himself, one foot planted forward as the swing started coming back down. Then in one quick motion, he reached up and caught the chains again. The impact had his feet skidding back in the sand, but he kept his stance steady. Liz was surprised at suddenly being brought to a halt. She didn't show it, only tilting her head up to smile at him. Shiloh had yet to catch his breath, though returned the smile just as brightly. He let go of the chains, walking around the swing set and briefly rubbing his hands together before offering one to Liz, which she generously accepted, needing the help up from the tiny seat. Then the two of them made their way back over to you and Cove. Liz was looking more ruffled than usual, and her sun hat was off kilter, having held on for dear life for the entire ride. She took a moment to straighten her outfit back into place. That looked like fun. It was! Even though you were just pushing me on the swing? Okay, Zazie. I told myself I wouldn't like Cove, and then at some point along the way I felt it with the feels, and yeah, I'm not in a mood. That's a mood, Lily. That is a mood. Huh. Hey, Shiloh. You've got an idea of what our lives have been like since we've been gone, but I've been wondering what happened to you after you moved away. Shiloh's eyes went wide as if it was surprising to hear. You couldn't recall him talking about himself when you were all telling stories, but maybe he hadn't been able to find the right timing? He brought his hand to his chin, tapping it thoughtfully as he looked up at and to the side. Hi, Louis! How you doing, friend? Well, what happened was my mom decided to move back to the south, closer to where I was born. We stayed there for a few years until she got another job offered to California again, thanks to a connection she made here. It was a really good job at a private boarding school, so she decided to take it. With a wide grin, he said the next part. And as a bonus, her kid, me, gets to attend the school and live in the dorms for free. I've been there since my second year of middle school. Lurk. Thank you for the lurk, Ronan. I super appreciate it. I hope you're having a nice day, friend. Yes, he is not soft boy. He best boy. Huh, neat. Amazon order gone through. Hopefully it'll be sent soon. What are you getting, Kit? Anything exciting? Treating yourself? Pretty soon I'm gonna be starting my last year of high school. Liz leaned forward with him with an attentive smile on her face. Have you been doing well there? Getting good grades? Got any friends? At the list of questions, Shiloh held his hand in front of himself as if there were physical things he could starve off. Yeah, it's everything. I can be a little hard sometimes because of how people are in the school, but I'm happy. How are people? Cove couldn't guess what that meant, but Liz folded her arms, scowling. Don't tell me there's more people like that Nate guy hanging around. Who's Nate? Shiloh rubbed at his cheek, laughing nervously. He glanced from the bars of the jungle gym to the laces of his— Oh, Nate! Nate yelled at us. I forgot who Nate was. Not exactly. Nate doesn't mean to be mean. He just kind of is. He's the school's #1 performer for athletics and academics. He always takes on so much responsibility that the only possible way he can finish it all is if absolutely nothing goes wrong. But that's impossible, so he's always stressed and ready to snap. He can't handle it when someone seems to be causing a problem. That's why during the field trip, he was upset when I went off on my own like that. Still, he's really smart and reliable and sensitive, and he cares a lot. Most of the time, he doesn't even realize his way of dealing with stuff upsets other people. Cove had a patient smile on his face, listening earnestly as Shiloh rattled off his list of Nate's good traits. You know him pretty well. Do you have a crush on him, Shiloh? Are you actually friends? Well, not exactly. Me and Nate are in the same after-school group. About once a month, me, 6 other students, and a supervisor get together to talk. We did it all of last year, and I think next year we're gonna be in the same group again. I hope so. Is this about the other game, Lily? I can't wait till you see the other person. Oh my god, who is it? Probably be surprised. I hope she likes it. I'm sure she will. Just, I know personally when people just think of me, like, that makes me happy, so I'm sure she'll love it. Nice. That's weird. Why would you want to be in a group with him? I'm glad Nate's not so bad after all. Especially since Shiloh might have to be in the same after-school group as him next year. Liz shook her head at your words. It would take much more for her to be convinced of Nate's upstanding character. Yeah, it's about the other game. Okay, that's what I thought. Personally, I'd still appreciate having a word with Nate about his communication skills. Her tone of voice was low and pointed. You'd be worried for Nate if not for the playful smile that I do have Nate's number, but he wouldn't pick up. The people in my group only answer when they feel like hearing from me, so usually I have to wait for them to call. Childhood friend, yeah, I hate him. I don't like him. Either that or they never even consider answering my calls or calling me or talking to me at all unless the supervisor forces them to. That's so sad. It was a break of a bleak description of his dynamic with his group, but he didn't seem to realize it until he glanced up and saw the concerned looks on everyone's faces. His smile fell. He hastened to add on one more thing. Well, except for one who'll always answer for sure. Oh? She immediately perked up.
Really?
So, that's a friend of yours? He hesitated to answer, something Cove picked up on. Not exactly. Yeah, I'd like to be friends, though. All right. Liz crossed her arms together once more, grim-faced that she was the commander of a ship about to lead her little crew into battle. You should call them. Right now. What? If you want to be friends with them, I can help. You're going to be the same group again, then you should at least try to get along. No, I couldn't. He quickly grew fleshy, his tongue stumbling over his sentences. I don't want to be a bother.
I mean...
Liz, what are we going to do? Watch him while he talks to someone on the phone? No, Cove. Shiloh. The last syllables of Shiloh's name trailing off. Okay, so last time I was promised jet skiing. It was family drama. This time I was hoping for like cute moments with Cove, and we're getting friend drama instead. What's up with this? All right, y'all. I don't know if we're gonna get to the end of this chapter of the stream. I'm gonna go for maybe 10 more minutes. We'll see how far we can get, and then we'll go raid someone else. But yeah, so we'll go for like 10 more minutes, I think, because this is a mini stream today. Because taking a break from studying for finals, but I do have to get back to it, unfortunately. The last syllable of Shiloh's name trailing off into the morning. It soon became clear Liz had not fully thought of the plan yet, but she wouldn't be Liz if she just stopped there. Shiloh, could we put them on a video call and we could all talk together, of course? Oh, this is awkward. She clapped her hands together, a wide smile on her face that didn't leave room for dissenting opinions. It's a good idea. It will work. Cove is right. We're just gonna go with Cove. Cove is always right. It doesn't make sense for us to crowd around Shiloh while he's on the phone. That's not how you make friends. Cove smiled at you, relieved to see that someone else was seeing reason too. Come on, Shiloh. We'll just talk to them. Say that we're your friends from out of town. The worst that could happen is nothing changes. But once they have more chances to talk to you, I know they'll be convinced to be better friends. It's going to turn out okay. Shiloh stalled to answer, but his hand was already hovering over one of the pockets of his pants. Alright, we can talk. Yes! Liz clenched a hand into a fist, cheering as Shiloh officially reached into the pocket and pulled out his phone. You noticed that it was the same type of model as your own, but his had a red case around it. The screen lit up and Shiloh requested a video call with some number in his contact. None of them on the list had names. He must remember what numbers belonged to what person. He inched closer to the three of you so everyone could hear better. Vaguely, you wondered how this looked from the outside. 4 teenagers on the verge of adulthood hanging out on an old playground and huddled up around a single phone. Strange? Suspicious? That's strange. That's suspicious. The ringing of the phone broke you out of your musings. You kept your eyes on it, your heart speeding at the end of each dial tone, thinking, could this be it? Only to have another one start up. It had been ringing for a while when you started to think of what Cove said about all of you watching as Shiloh talked on the phone. Maybe even that wouldn't happen. Shiloh could sense the awkwardness in the air, smiling to try to dispel it. It's normal, don't worry. Just as he said it, the call ended, not even going to voicemail. Shiloh clicked to redial. Ian never answers on the first call. He always does on the second. That's how he is. At least with most people. There are exceptions. You and Liz furtively shared ambiguous looks, none of you wanting to accidentally discourage Shiloh. Then you focused on the phone again as it started to ring once more. The jingling suddenly cut off in the middle, followed by a faint sound of white noise. With a big smile and flushed cheeks, Shiloh brought the phone up to his face. A voice, low and groggy, came rasping out of the speakers. Hello? Shiloh, on the other hand, was much more chipper. Hi, I'm visiting a town I used to live in when I was a little kid, and I wanted to introduce my group mate to the people I knew back then. Some of them I've already met and made. Can you say hi to them too? With that rushed introduction, Shiloh stuck the phone outwards towards Cove, gesturing for him to greet the person on the other end. Although Cove hadn't been on the board in the beginning, the only indication of that now was the lopsided tilt of his smile. He turned his gaze down to the screen, opening his mouth to speak, only to stutter to a complete stop. Huh? All Cove could do was sputter and gape at the screen. His reaction had Shiloh's brow crinkling in worry. What? Shiloh's group mate didn't sound particularly impressed with how this conversation was going so far. Shiloh frowned, retracting his arm away from Cove. As he did so, the screen tilted towards you and you caught a glimpse of what was on the screen. Fucking Jeremy! Lily, you lied to me! And that's not fucking Jeremy. I don't know who is. Y'all, this is the guy who bullied us. This is our bully. I'm mad. I don't want to talk to him. Hang up. I said no bowl cut. He doesn't have a bowl cut anymore. Sorry. I'm sorry for blowing out people's ears. I had a reaction. A visceral reaction to how much I hate Jeremy. Who is this man? Who is this man if he's not Jeremy? Fuck this asshole. How dare you bully us and then show up on this screen? Light green hair, sharp orange eyes, shadow with bags, and icy pale skin. I almost got in a fight with this boy. All tied together to make up the scowling face of a person who clearly had no desire to be here. You knew him. A flood of memories arose, flashes of that one summer years ago at this very same park, you holding onto a arrangement of fruit, Derek and Cove out your side, and that kid mean as a tiny chihuahua snapping at everyone who dared to come close. The bowl cut! You screamed. Well, do I pick that one? Because I literally screamed. Was waiting all stream for this moment. I watched Jeremy's voice actor play this moment. Oh god. Quick, hang up the phone. Wait, okay, wait. What do we say? Quick, hang up the phone. Well, you're a lot better now, looking now. Oh god, I'm not saying that. You screamed. The bowl cut kid, are you Jeremy? Which one do we do? You have to pick scream. Okay, I guess you're right. I did actually scream. So it does make sense for me to pick that. Alright, you screamed. The image on screen shook as Jeremy winced, clamping a hand down over his ears. You screamed because you screamed. Cove still couldn't take his wide eyes off the phone. He spoke now in a very small voice, almost a squeak. Jeremy? Yeah? His reply was mildly annoyed at this point. How do you know his name was Jeremy? Wait, what was Jeremy's voice? Jeremy had an annoying voice. You didn't tell them? Wait, what was his voice? You didn't tell them? I don't know what his voice was, but I hate Jeremy. No, I only called them somebody from my group at school. Oh, his voice is deep. Shit, okay. Jeremy regarded Cove cautiously for a first time, giving the situation a little more focus. Cove bristled, sucking in a long, deep, dramatic breath.
Oh my god.
Same Cove. All at once he started shouting, and not just with his voice. He waved his arms around, gesturing wildly with his hands as he repeated yelled, oh my god, with all sorts of inflection. Me, Cove, me. Quick, Birdie, smoke a pack. You'll get there. No, I don't want to die. Oh my god, oh my god. You screamed along with him. Imagine watching people at a park running around screaming at a phone. But less religiously and more incoherently, the villain of your early teen years had reappeared with no warning. At these antics, Jeremy gave a short huff of a sigh through his teeth, the sound tiny over the phone speakers. Wait, hold on.
What is this, Shiloh? Are you trying to make me suffer? Are you still mad about what happened at the amusement park? It was on your side, you know?
How does one make their voice deeper? I don't even know. You can do this, Batman. I don't know if I can. Liz, who had been entirely lost this whole time, finally spoke up. What happened? At the amusement park? But no one paid that question any mind. I don't know what's going on. Have you met each other before?
Nope.
It was an immediate reply from Jeremy, but then those stinging eyes squinted. Wait. There was a flash of recognition. There was as he leaned his head forward and scrutinized the both of you. His already wide frown somehow found a way to grow deeper at his realization.
Oh, it's you people. Again.
I hate him so much, Casper. I hate him. He looked from Shiloh to Cove and then to you. You could tell he was carefully putting his thoughts together.
Sorry.
I have no idea how you people got in contact with me or what Shiloh has to do with it, but sorry. What? Jeremy sighed again. His gaze rolled over to Cove. I don't remember exactly what I did or what I said, but I do know what I was like as a kid, and really that's all I need to know. Oh, is he better? Well, okay, but who's that for apology for? It's better be for me and Devin. He spoke sternly, though. There was no hiding the shakiness present that didn't matter. Cove coming to your defense by confronting Jeremy brought a warm smile to your face. I fucking love you, Cove. Jeremy, on the other hand, continued to be unimpressed. The corner of his lip twitched. I didn't need to know what the teenage guy equivalent of a smushy squeak is, but now I do. Thanks for that. I'm gonna fight him! A small offended noise escaped Cove. Unfortunately, it was also squeaky sounding. His face immediately burned red with embarrassment. This kid has a death wish. Oh, he is my squeak toy. What perfect description. Cove is exactly that. That is it. You better not step foot in this town again. Wait, what do we say? You better not step foot in this town again. That's my squeak toy. Hey. I would just punch the phone, quite honestly, at this point. I freaking hate this kid. Can I hang up? Can I just hang up on him? Why isn't hanging up on him an option? You better never step foot down in this get. No, I'm gonna go, hey. Taking a small step forward, your hands instinctively curled into fists. You couldn't believe at the first chance you got, Jeremy insulted Cove again. Ooh, which witcher? Which witcher? Which witcher? Which witcher which? Poor Shiloh, though. No, I don't feel bad for Shiloh. Shiloh's manipulative. Taking a small step forward, your hands... Couldn't believe he insulted Cove. Glancing at Cove to silently ask, can you believe this? You notice the tiny smile on his face at your offensive on his behalf. I got you, boo. Jeremy didn't react at all. He continued watching the four people on the other end of this unwanted call, lackadaisically.
Whatever.
The apology is for whoever. Anyone who had to deal with me back then, they weren't having a good time. I'm not having a good time now. He shrugged. Jeremy's focus cycled from you to Cove and back again. I kind of remember what happened, I think. You were sensitive and you didn't have much patience for me. That makes sense. Just fucking call us sensitive? I will murder him. Jeremy, chill. You know that TikTok that's going around right now where it's like, yeah, I killed him. I walked with him. That's me with Jeremy. That is me with Jeremy. That is me with Jeremy. Amazed, Cove took a few processing moments before he could respond. He blinked and rubbed the back of his neck. Thanks. I mean, it's no problem. You looked away. I still got my eyes on you. You're like, you're not here in person. He called me sensitive and insulted Cove. You're lucky you're not here in person, because I would. Jeremy raised an eyebrow as if he wanted to say, oh really, in response. Whatever. Following Cove's eyes, you watched it dart from Shiloh to Jeremy, openly wondering what had happened to Jeremy over these past few years. So, you're nice now? Nope. I don't throw tantrums or pick fights anymore, but I'm not nice. Jeremy shook his head in disbelief. That squeak toy comment wasn't a compliment, you know. Oh, wait, I read that as Shiloh. I thought that was Shiloh. I don't have the energy to get angrily worked up like I used to as a kid. It's all pointless anyway. Oh, he's in his emo phase. Now I'm just miserable. Wait, what was a good emo kid song? Pain without love, pain. Can't get enough. That's Jeremy's theme song. His tone was even grumblier than usual, and dragged the syllables out on the last word for extra emphasis. Literally Batman. It's true. You mean you voiced act as me? Ooh. Oh. An awkward laugh escaped Shiloh. Then his mouth pulled open into a demure smile.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. Don't let what Jeremy says about himself get you too down. He's got people who care about him and make sure he's okay, like me. Don't listen to Shiloh. I'm just gonna read him as an emo kid now. It's nice you're looking out for someone else, Shiloh. I don't really care if Jeremy's I don't know. So I don't know the fact that the two of you actually know each other. I don't want to be that mean. I'm not gonna be that mean. That got a snort out of Jeremy. Me neither. Okay, seriously, how long am I meant to be out of the loop here? Her expression twisted in frustration as Liz rubbed her right temple. Why am I the only one who doesn't know this kid? Shiloh goes to the school with him. That's fine. How did the two of you meet? And him and I didn't. He was around town one summer back like 5 years ago. You were there. Liz crossed her arms and stared, unconvinced at you. Is that all? While Liz seemed a bit overwhelmed, Shiloh appeared to be utterly amazed. You had to hold back a small laugh.
Really?
You knew Jeremy as a little kid? What was he like? I've only known him for a year and a half. Well, his voice immediately hushed into nothing. You could see Cove wince just thinking on those past encounters. You'd already pictured past Jeremy in your mind. He was mean. All he did was yell and say people were dumb. T. Also, I'm excited to see you with your new haircut. Oh my god, yeah, Buggy sent pictures. I want to see the cut. I hate how there are so many possible responses for this game. Having a natural response versus my indecisiveness, I'm trying to pick the optimal response. Is that for a Doki Doki? He acted like the universe was personally out to ruin his day. Every day. Cove nodded firmly in agreement. Jeremy was an insufferable kid. It didn't matter what happened. He was mad about everything. Jeremy's expression didn't give away a single sign of what he might have been thinking. He continued to blandly stare at you both, up until he finally spoke. Yep, that sounds like me. At that confirmation, Shiloh burst into uncontrolled laughter. Even when he calmed moments later, grasping for breath, there was still a wide grin plastered on his face. I can't even imagine Jeremy being like that. I can't imagine him not being like that. They both chuckled again. Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile. I mean, Jeremy hasn't made fun of my eyebrows once this whole conversation. Unbelievable. Huh. Jeremy blinked and focused all of his attention onto Cove. His eyes unmistakably narrowed in on the eyebrows. He didn't say anything at first, and then his words came out in a mumble. That makes sense. I guess insulting eyebrows was just what I did as a kid. What does that mean? What do you think it means? You aren't the only kid in the world with bad eyebrows. You're not the only one I picked on it for.
Seriously?
I wasn't? You couldn't help yourself, could you? Nope. Wow. So what made their eyebrows bad? Are you curious? Yours are better, but terrible eyebrow standards at least. No.
Sigh.
Sigh? Incredulously, Cove looked from Jeremy to you and then back to him again. You had to question if you heard that right. He spoke the word sigh instead of actually sighing. Noticing the reaction, Jeremy sighed for real, but he continued on to answer Cove's question. The guy has practically odd hair coloring, white hair, but only the top of his head. Baxter? Is he talking about Baxter? Every other strand of his body is dark brown, including his immensely bushy eyebrows. He was born that way, it's not dyed. So you were the scared boy with dumb, wavy eyebrows, and he was the white-haired boy with stupid caterpillar eyebrows. Ow. Unexpectedly, a loud gasp came from Shiloh at that description. No, you picked on Pram for his eyebrows? Who the hell is Pram? I did. I'm sure you find that hilarious. No, that's not very funny. So he said, but Shiloh was smothering laughter. The unconvinced note in Jeremy's voice didn't surprise you. Okay, wait, give me a second. Just let me... Jeremy rolled his eyes in the slowest, most exaggerated way possible. When he made a complete circle, he spoke flatly, while Shiloh broke into a fit of giggles. There. Who's Pram? Shiloh knows him too?
Well...
Jeremy and Pram have known each other for a long time. They managed to go to the same boarding school later on. I met them both there in the spring of last year. We're all group masters. Jeremy's gaze slid away from Shiloh. He looked somewhere between you and Cove. Pran and I met 4.5 years ago, back when I was still an intolerable brat and Pran was meek. You can... Oh, I'm reading Jeremy. That's Shiloh again. Brain is gone, folks. You can only imagine how amazing that combination was. Yeah, it must make those groups meetings awkward. Alright. I'm gonna save. I wanted to finish, but I'm gonna save here. We're gonna save here. And next time we do our life, we'll finish the game out.